Hello, good afternoon. This is David Sitter talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions of all major Forex currency pairs for the upcoming trading week of August 26th through August 30th. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the previous week and show you what has happened this past week on all the pairs, and then kind of give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week based on higher time frames. Okay, so to begin with, I want to look right here on EURUSD, and you see that it was pretty much in a sideways fashion, not any big spikes except on Friday. Okay, on Friday there was a big spike up, and it looks like it stalled out and it's hit a pretty strong level of resistance right now, and it's getting ready to come back down. Now, the only reason this spiked up on Friday, it wasn't very much high impact news, but there was a speech. If we go here on forexfactory.com, look at the news, we see right here on Friday, August 23rd, it says Federal Chairman Powell speaks. Okay, so the federal chair gave a speech on Friday, and evidently this speech did not fare so well. Okay, it caused the US dollar to drop, okay, which also resulted in other major pairs shooting up some. Okay, so we see this right here on Euro USD, Great British Pound USD. There was a surge up, and Australian dollar US dollar, there was a spike up as well. Okay, and if we look at USD CHF, USD JPY, and USD CAD, we see there was a spike drop in the price. Now USD CAD is a little bit different because both pairs had a drop, but at the same time there still was a drop in the US dollar. Okay, when that speech came out. All right, now what do I think is going to happen this coming week? Well, first of all, let's look at Euro USD on a 4-hour chart. Okay, we see that we definitely had a spike up, and it looks to me like it's going to continue to go up. Okay, that seems pretty evident, and the Euro USD has been wanting to go up, went in the form of uptrend for the last several weeks. Okay, so even on the daily chart, we see that the price had gone up, back down, it's going back up again. And all we have is an up arrow here on the daily chart. So I feel very, very strongly that we're going to see a nice uptrend this coming week. If you look on the weekly chart, you see the same thing. You have an up arrow here. All right. Now, the last couple of weeks has been pretty much a ranging market, meaning it's moving in a sideways fashion, right? But let me zoom in a bit. You see right here is definitely wanting to go back up. So I would expect it to more or less stay in a range of motion, but overall it will be going up. Okay, so with that said, I would only be placing buy trades. Okay, even if you're in a range of market like this, the overall trend, the long-term trend, is definitely bullish, meaning it's going to be going up. So you want to look, even on smaller time frames, you want to look for buy opportunities only. Okay, now moving on to pound USD, we're going to see pretty much kind of the same thing. If we go to a 4-hour chart, all right, we hit some resistance right here. It's been going to uptrend. We hit some resistance. So meaning more than likely you're going to see a drop, or we're going to see more of a range of market this coming week. But if we look at some of the higher time frames like the daily and weekly, we see that it's definitely going into an uptrend. Okay, the weekly is just now forming a nice uptrend, right? So long term, this is definitely going to be going up. So again, only look for buy opportunities. Even if this does form a range of market, you want to look for buy opportunities only for a Great British Pound US dollar. Okay, moving on to Australian dollar US dollar. Okay, now we kind of see the same scenario played out here. We had pretty much a range of market this past week, and we saw that this had dropped because the US dollar kind of gained a bit. You see here in USD CHF had gained and then dropped at the very end. which causes this to drop and then gain at the very end. Okay, do kind of shot up and back down, but still. Now if we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, we see that we've had nothing but a range of market in the last 2 weeks or so, which is still right now sitting at a pretty solid level of support, and I feel very, very strongly that this is definitely going to be going up. Okay, we have an up arrow, no down arrow on the 4-hour chart. If we look at the daily, we pretty much see the same thing. All right, we have an up arrow here. We have a range of market for the last 2 weeks, and it has not yet broke out and formed a strong uptrend like we want to see. And that's because the US dollar is fighting back and not allowing this to go up like we want it to. Okay, even the weekly chart shows an uptrend forming, and it's just in the very early stages, but definitely long term this is definitely going to be going up. So just like the predecessors before, you want to be looking for buy opportunities only for Australian dollar, US dollar. Okay, now let's look at some of the USD pairs. US dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, we saw kind of a range of market this past week, and we saw this nice little steady uphill climb, but then towards the end of the week, because of that speech by the federal chairman, this had just dropped like a rock. Okay, and if we look at some of the higher time frames now, we'll kind of see some mixed signals here. Okay, according to the daily, we had this up arrow but no down arrow. All right, so what exactly is going to happen? Okay, we had this period here for the last week or so, almost 2 weeks, where this has been going up and up and up, and now it just shot back down again, but it never formed a red arrow. Okay, so it's a little kind of tricky, I guess. If you look at the weekly chart, I know I pointed this out last week, but if you look at the weekly chart here, we can see a nice downtrend. Okay, right here, kind of like that, right? And this has hit this, the price has hit this level of resistance, and looks to me like this is definitely going to be headed down. Okay, now I could be wrong. Okay, I could be totally wrong because there's no red arrow that has formed on the daily, but keep in mind that the US dollar is definitely heading into a downtrend. Okay, now this weekend are the G7 meetings. Sorry, the G7 meetings. Okay, all this weekend, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen as a result of that. So we might, it's all kind of depending on what Donald Trump says and if he provokes anybody or says the wrong things. But, I feel that the US dollar is definitely headed into a downtrend. Okay. I don't see anything that is going to cause the US dollar to spike up or form a new uptrend. Okay. Now, like I said, I could be totally wrong. At worst, I would probably guess a range of market for this coming week. Okay. I would probably focus on sell opportunities only. If you look on the hourly, it's wanting to go up right now, even on the 30-minute. Okay, meaning that it probably will go up, and it's going to hit a level of resistance somewhere in here and shoot back down again. Okay, so like I said, look for sell opportunities only, and that pretty much goes for any USD pair. Okay, if we look at that US dollar Japanese yen, we pretty much see the same effect. Okay, we look at this indicator, we pretty much see the same effect, right? We look at the 4-hour and daily. The 4-hour kind kind of hit a level of support, but this is like it's getting ready to go up. Now the US dollar, Japanese yen, typically, I've said this before, typically has an inverse, opposite effect of the US dollar Swiss franc, USD CHF here. So US dollar Japanese yen typically does the opposite. So if USD CHF is going to be going to a downtrend, US dollar Japanese yen should be going into an uptrend. Okay, that's not always the case, but that's typically what happens. So right now we hit kind of a pretty solid level of support, where we see it hit here, here, and here, according to the weekly. So we can kind of speculate and say that this will be going to an uptrend, okay? But the US dollar, you know, we can't say that for certain. If the US dollar strengthens, then this might shoot down even more, okay? But overall, with the US dollar Japanese yen, even on the smaller time frames like the 5-minute, I would be looking for buy opportunities only, okay? And even like right now, we have a up arrow. So according to this right now, this looks like an excellent time to buy, okay? So I would probably, this week would probably be safe to say that you could place a buy trade and just leave it, okay? Because it looks like it's going to be going to an uptrend overall. Now, looking at US dollar, Canadian dollar, this is really, really interesting, because now this one, you know, these two currency pairs, these two currencies are fighting one another. And it's going to be very, very difficult to say if there's going to be any kind of uptrend or downtrend. All right. Based on what's happened this past week, we've seen nothing but a ranging market. Okay. And I feel very strongly that we're going to see a continuation of that this coming week. Okay. If you look here on the 4-hour chart, it's been wanting and fighting, trying to go into a downtrend. But if you look here, we see we have an uptrend right here, okay? We have a nice uptrend, right? And I could even adjust this a bit, bring it up like that, so that this point, that one broke a little bit, but all these points here line up. So really, even though it's trying to go into a downtrend, it's still technically in an uptrend until this trend line breaks. Now, if this trend line breaks, then we're going to see a long downtrend, okay? But if you look here on the daily, look at this. There is no down arrow that's formed yet. We only have this up arrow, okay? So even though we hit, you know, this pretty strong level of resistance right here, until this breaks this trend, like I said, we're not going to have any downtrend. And what I think is going to happen, I could be totally wrong, but I think it's going to happen is we're going to see another surge up. Okay, if we look at the weekly, all we have is a down arrow, but that's long term. So this is going to go up before it goes back down. Okay, the big trend is definitely bearish, but it's going to be a long time before this thing really goes down. Okay, because both these pairs are fighting for strength. Okay, so I will go by the daily chart right now and wait. Okay, I would wait. I wouldn't even place any trades right now unless this broke. Then I would place a sell trade, but I would wait. I would probably draw. You could draw like a level of resistance right here, and then set a buy stop pending order about 100 points or so above this. All right, and if it breaks out and trips that, it's going to keep going up. All right, it's going to go up probably a few hundred points at least, maybe 500-600 points, before it forms another level of resistance up here somewhere. Okay, we have this level of resistance right here, and we also have another level of resistance right here with this arrow. Okay, so somewhere, if it breaks this level, it's going to go up to this level. Okay, it's going to ride in this range, and then eventually it probably will break this level and come back up here somewhere, and then eventually form a down arrow. Okay, so like I said, I do not feel that this is ready to go into a downtrend yet. Okay, I would wait for this resistance to break and then buy. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And at the same time, now, if this trend line breaks down, then we know for certain that we're going to a downtrend as well. And you could safely sell on that. Okay, so either way, we're waiting for something to break, either resistance or support to break, because right now it's kind of trapped. All right, this is what's called a rising wedge, and the price is trapped right now. We don't know if the price is going to break out to the north or break out to the south. Okay, so right now, right this very moment, I would not even try trading this. I would just wait, to probably Tuesday and see exactly what's going to happen. By Tuesday, we should know 100% certain without a doubt what we need to do. Okay, so that's my my trade analysis for this coming week. Please let me know if you have any questions. Go here on forexfactory.com and go to the calendar right here and look up this week's high impact news and take these dates and times and mark them on your, I would mark them on my personal calendar on my cell phone. Okay, you can mark them on your calendar in your house or whatever, but put them in your cell phone, that way you can make reminders to check your trading or to avoid trading at that particular time. Okay, so anyhow, let me know if any questions. Let me know if you agree with my analysis or you have your own analysis. Either way, I'd be more than happy to assist you, and I'd like to hear from you as well about your analysis and what you think is going to happen. Okay, there's a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook account. Okay, I prefer that you contact me there first. Also, there is a link below for my private Facebook group, and you can post any questions or comments in my Facebook group, and that this way myself or other traders can assist you, and we can have a group discussion, a group collaboration. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a good week trading ahead, and just let me know if I can help you at all. Okay, thank you and have a wonderful week.